the first season of the Sunday SITREP. It's not just a tournament, it's a brotherhood.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the 22nd episode of the Sunday SITREP, the official podcast of the Armed Forces Fishing League. And what's going on, Nick?
Clean shaven, baby face, back
The beard is gone. The beard is gone.
Gone.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna kind of miss it. I liked the beard, but
Yeah.
understand, we talked about it earlier, the itchiness, all that stuff. I'm definitely tracking.
Maybe I'll come back. I don't know. You know what I
Right.
did once? I grew it out, and then like halfway through fishing season, I shaved it off, and I had this stupid tan line from where it was. It looks so ridiculous.
Oh,
Between
I bet.
sunglasses and then that,
Oh, the old raccoon eyes, man. I get
yeah.
the raccoon eyes all the time. Every year I get them. I mean, you can kind of see, like, I've already kind of got it going on so far, and it's February. So,
Yeah.
I'm not.
My skin looks like a sheet of paper right now from our conditions, but
I hear you. I know it's a little cold there. A little of a touchy subject still.
this is the worst time of the year too, because I'm talking to all of you guys who are running events. Some of you are going on your second event, you'll be going on your third, some fourth, probably by the time that we even start.
Yeah, man. What's your first event again?
The last weekend of April. It's like the 26th, I think it is, or if we're lucky.
Yeah, so we'll be through our third by then. Yeah. It is what it is, but it is what it is. But yeah, so hello everybody. It looks like we got a decent amount of people in here already. We already got a few loaded in. And we already got people like Mr. Mike Sheehan and Philip Hunt and I'm not going to try to say your name. I'm just going to call you Kevin in the comments. Dropping the hashtag #TheSitRep. I appreciate you guys dropping it off the rip. So if any of you, if you're new, go ahead and like, share, and comment hashtag #TheSitRep for your chance to get some barbecue sauce and a t-shirt.
Which we have to catch up on.
Yes, we're tracking.
Yeah, we're going to get that out to you guys. We promise. We apologize for those that we haven't gotten it out to. We're not ghosting you. It's going to happen.
Life has been busy for both of us lately, so we're sorry. And that's kind of why we haven't been here in a little bit. Life's been busy. I especially with me having Bella last weekend.
And then we had the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl, yeah, and
the snowstorm. I couldn't do anything, man. We kept having
the snowstorm.
Snowstorm.
Yeah, it's been a little busy of a lot of craziness, a lot of chaos going on. So sorry we've been away. And that's kind of why we're not we don't have a guest tonight. We're just gonna straight up, catch up with you guys. If anybody wants to talk about anything, talk fishing with us, let us know what y'all want to talk about. We're gonna catch up on some results here in a minute. For sure, because we have 3 events we haven't discussed yet. 2 of them are all the way back from the 8th. And then we got an event that happened this weekend that was a success, even though they had some weather conditions that probably weren't favorable, to say the least. But yeah, so you want to we'll hold off on the results real quick, because we're going to be using that for the meat of the podcast today. So let's go over some upcoming events before we dive into any of that. So keep in mind, guys, we've got 3 events next weekend. On wait, is that? Am I crazy? Is this weekend already March 1st? It's the 23rd. Wow, it is. Okay, yeah, this coming Saturday, March 1st is we have 3 events coming up. North Carolina is having their second event on Lake Jordan, or Jordan Lake, I think is how you say it. And then Kentucky is starting their first event of the ever, and first of the season, first ever on Green River Lake.
Just make sure, keep an eye on that, because they're tracking like extremely high waters.
Right.
So if you're from Kentucky that's watching this right now, just keep an eye on that, because they may have to postpone the event just for safety. Obviously, that's priority. So just
Right.
keep an eye on that.
Yeah, Kentucky got pretty rattled with a lot of the floods recently, and
Yeah.
Eastern Kentucky, Eastern Tennessee, and it was crazy. Like one part of Kentucky's flooded, and the other part's frozen solid. It's crazy. You lost me? You can't hear me? Interesting. Can you hear me now? I can't hear you either. That's not fun. Interesting. Let's troubleshoot this. Oh, Philip can hear me. So maybe it's something on your end, Nick. Because I can't hear you either. Huh. Maybe jump out and jump back in and see if maybe that fixes it. Unplug the computer and plug it back in, or turn it off and turn it back on. Anyways, I think he froze. I think he left the studio to try to jump back in. We'll see how that goes. But man, I did not know this, Blake. 24 feet above summer pool is kind of crazy. I don't know if I've ever seen green that high. I mean, that's kind of wild. I think we've got. Well, you're doubled up, Nick. I'm gonna remove your other one. There you go, and we can hear you now.
All right.
Oh, I don't know what that was. Weird, but is what it is. So yeah, I don't know if you've seen this, Nick. I had it up while you were frozen up and trying to get back in. 4 feet above summer pool is insane. I don't know what the decision is going to be made there. I don't know if that's safe condition. I've never seen Green River that high. That's kind of crazy. I imagine trying to find a boat ramp that is usable is probably pretty tough.
Yeah.
Summer pool is, if it was 24 feet above, I don't know what winter pool on Green is, but I know they pull that one down pretty heavy. So, but to be already above summer pool that high is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's nuts.
Sucks because that was probably fixing to be a good derby too. Green is really good in the spring.
Yeah, that was the one he was saying he was expecting some big weights on too, I think. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
for sure. March 1st. Yeah. Green definitely has some good fishing at this time of year for sure. I mean, all times of the year, but spring is really well known up there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Kentucky folks, stay in tune. If you don't have Jeff's number or you're not in contact with our director, Jeff Inley, look him up on Facebook, get a hold of him. I believe his phone number is on the Facebook page, or his email is. Get in touch with him and communicate with him if you're trying to make it this weekend, and I'm sure he'll keep you guys up to date through his Facebook page and through us in the main page and everything.
Sure. And if you're signed up on Fishing Chaos too, we'll have your phone number and we can actually either message you from the app, or we can just, give you a call with your number and stuff to keep you in the loop. So if you're planning on fishing with us, get signed up through Fishing Chaos for the league as a whole, and then we'll have all your information to reach out to you if there's any issues.
Absolutely. And then the other event we got this weekend is Clarks Hill, Georgia's second event. They're going to be launching out there at Clarks Hill. I don't know the ramp. I don't know if Clarks Hill had issues and maybe the flyer was wrong. I'm sure Philip's in here. Philip, if you don't mind, update us on the ramp.
He said Wildwood Park.
Oh, he's out of Wildwood. Okay. Yep, that's generally for the Georgia side is Wildwood. So jump on over there for the second event. If you're on the Savannah River chain, jump in Clarks Hill. I'm sure it's going to be fishing good too. I'm kind of jealous. I might see what I'm doing next weekend. I need to practice Monticello, but I sure love Clarks Hill in the springtime though. I don't know. We'll see what we got going on.
That's the one you sent me that picture, that massive striper you caught, right?
Ginormous striper on a top water, dude. It sounded like a 200-pound grown man did a cannonball. Just a little I'm a baby stick in chrome, and I was walking it real fast, and he rolled up on it, right? And then I was like, oh, something rolled up on it, and I just paused it for the split second. As soon as I twitched again, I mean, it sounded like a cannon just struck the water. And I fought that fish. That was on a 7-foot medium rod. It might have been a medium heavy, but moderate action, real lumber to work that top water, you know.
That's a good fight.
Did for probably 20
Yeah.
minutes. I don't know if I've got it. Yeah, monster, dude. That's it. Yep. That thing, when I seen it, I about had a heart attack. I've never caught any stripers that big. I mean, I've caught some big stripers around here.
Dude,
But
that's straight up like stuff they catch in saltwater up here. Like
yes, dude. And it's like it's a
Bigger.
landlocked it's a landlocked lake. There's no locks. There's no locking dam, so they can't come up from the salt. That's a implanted fish or stocked fish, which is crazy. It's 9 pound. Dude, these lakes around here, I don't know what's going on in South Carolina waters this year, but there's a lot of giants showing up. It's crazy. And we're going to get into that with the BFL results from this weekend on Santee are wild, but we're going to dive into that here in a little bit.
Let's get into that. That's exciting.
Yeah. But so North Carolina, Kentucky, and Georgia, y'all got an event this weekend. Kentucky, stay tuned. And check in with Jeff, check in on their page, check in on the main page, and just, verify. I would check up, later in the week, and I'm sure Jeff will have something out there to let y'all know what's going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
The following weekend, March 8th, is Lake Monticello here in South Carolina. So we had a good show out on our first event. We're going to dive into those results along with the other two results we're going to dive into today. But Monticello, I think, is going to be pretty good as well. Smallmouth, we'll see if we can wrangle up some smallies. But March 8th, we'll be out of Monticello for South Carolina. Y'all show up to that one like y'all did on Murray. Y'all showed up on Murray, and I appreciate it a lot. So yeah, that's all I've got for the upcoming events in the near future. Next weekend, since it's the first weekend of March, we'll go over all of the March events and maybe dive into we've got a couple early April as well, and we'll dive in then on all the ones coming up. I'm excited, man, seeing all the states come together. We're starting to get into that primetime fishing.
Yeah.
Everywhere you look on Facebook, there's big bags getting dropped everywhere, all over the country. Big fish showing up. And it's pretty cool. I'm digging it. So, yeah, you got anything you want to get into before we dive into some tournament results?
No, I want to get into the results.
All right, let's get into the results. So, I don't have. Let me see if I can pull it up this way, the way I want to. See the full leaderboard. Okay. No, it's not gonna screen share the way I want it. All right, so South Carolina, February 8th on Lake Murray, we had our last event. We had a whopping 16 boats show up, and thank you all of you that showed up. I'm very thankful for all the guys. We had a lot of repeats, and we had a lot of new guys, and I'm really happy with that. I think it was pretty. I didn't do the math on it, but it's pretty close to 50-50. Some new teams, some repeat teams, and thank you to both for coming out for the new guys. Thanks for giving us a shot. I hope you liked it, and we'll see you at Monticello for the teams that showed up again. Thanks for coming back with us for sure.
Yeah.
It was pretty fun. We all hung out a little bit after the event and had a blast chit-chatting. And Mr. Carl Horn, our retired colonel, we love Mr. Carl Horn, and his partner Robert Craney whipped our butts with 20.12 pounds and a 6-pound kicker to take big fish, and did 16 boats. All right, 16 boats, $1,100 is what they walked home with big fish in first place. $1,100, 16 boats.
It's a good day on the water. You win.
I'm not
that paycheck.
I'm not complaining about it. I'm not complaining about it. And then what I like about the brotherhood, everybody kind of stood around. They all helped me pack up my stuff, and Mr. Horn told us exactly how he caught them.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's what it's all about.
Did he?
He told us how he caught them, and I believe it. It seemed very believable, and he ain't giving me a reason to not trust him yet. So, but he, it was pretty good turnout. I'm happy with it. A lot of people caught fish.
Yeah.
Monticello is 40-50 minutes north of Columbia from you. I'm trying to think of how you would come up this way. It's kind of northeast of Columbia. So if you come to George for the Greenville way, I'd have to look at a map to see how you would get to it. It's probably a pretty good clip for you, but definitely got a good opportunity for Smalley. I mean, dude, we talked about it on here. I think it was our last podcast we had, episode 21. We talked about the dude had a 6.85 Smalley.
Yeah.
Wild. I mean, it's not the St. Lawrence. You don't have like a bunch
That's
of
a good
chances
smallmouth anyway.
right, but the fact that there is one in there that size shows there's probably more. And I know there's definitely some big largemouth in there too. I think I got caught like a 9 up there last year. But yeah, anyways, come up there for that. But so for second place on that tournament, we had Jack Hoyleman and Hunter Vincent with 1650. And then third place was one of my bosses, Mr. Matt Barnes, with 1544. And believe it, I heard about how he's the best fabricator in Shaw Air Force Base to win, or best fisherman. And I've been getting grilled all week about how I'm a subpar fisherman, and I've been fishing Murray for so many years, and he's only had 5 months out here. And yeah, I agree, Shane. Monticello is definitely worth a trip. It's pretty good lake. It's small. It's actually, from what I understand, and I don't know the factuality to this, but from what I understand, it was developed by Duke Energy for fishing. It's a nuclear power plant lake, and it's specifically like the way they dug it out, the way they built it, the rocks they put in it, the way they kind of developed that lake was specifically tailored to support largemouth, smallmouth, and spotted bass populations. And there's some big meanmouth in there too. I've caught a few of them in the 3 or 4 pound range meanmouths. But and Jack is the dude for Monticello. He whacks them up there. I'm a little nervous. But 12 pounds, that's wild. You got 12-pound largemouth and 6-pound smallies swimming around. That's kind of crazy. But we keep bloviating off of this. But that was the top 3 for our Murray tournament. We had 16 boats, 12 weighed fish. And it was pretty good. It was awesome. The only thing I would say is I did have an instance where some guys brought some short fish. They misunderstood the length limit. Just guys, gentlemen, before you show up to a lake, just know the limit, the size limit, please. I don't want to have to make a big deal out of it, and I didn't make a big deal out of it at the tournament. We took care of it appropriately, professionally, but make sure you're understanding the size limit on the lakes. South Carolina, generally speaking, it's 14 inches. I know used to be it was 12 inches on some lakes, but it's no longer that way except on the Cooper River and maybe Lake Robinson. But on our schedule in South Carolina, all of our lakes are 14-inch limits. So just make sure you guys know for all states, know your limits, check your board. And if you are questioning a fish, whether it's going to fit or not, ask your director. Bring it up to him. Don't let him bring it up to you. It's kind of what I would say. Say, hey, I think I've got one that's kind of on the line on my board. Can I compare him to yours before I bring him up to weigh? Courtesy measure, something along those lines. I know for me and all of our directors here in the Armed Forces Fishing League, if you bring it up to us first and say, hey, I need a courtesy measure, no harm, no foul. If that fish is just touching the line or a little short, get rid of it. We're not going to knock it. But if you bring short fish to our scales, in our rules, it does say you will lose your big fish and that fish, obviously. So you'll only weigh, if you have 5 fish, you'll only weigh your middle 3 fish at that point. no harm, no foul. Not upset with anybody. Stuff happens. It was very, very easy to misunderstand, I guess. But Lonnie, I am tracking that for that tournament. I'm gonna make it across the board 14-inch minimum. I know 12 smallies and spots are 12 inches. However, I don't believe some folks are capable of identifying the difference between a spotted bass and a largemouth bass. So we're probably just gonna draw a blanket 14 inches across the board. Maybe. I'll talk with folks beforehand. We'll figure that out. But that's my thought process. I'll ask everybody and see what their thoughts are. But that's kind of where my head's at. But just to keep it easy, you know what I mean? That way there's no questions. Like, you know, some guys might not even know what a smallmouth bass looks like, to be honest.
Oh, you'll know. They're beautiful.
They are beautiful.
Eye candy.
I do agree. They are gorgeous fish. But that's all of our results from South Carolina on February 8th. It was a really fun event. I was really thankful with all the people we had show up, and you know we had fun. That's what it was. It was a lot of fun. Me and Bobby, I think we finished 6th or something. Yeah, we had.
Ooh.
Yeah, we suck. We have 14 pounds, and you know, we caught them, but we had fun doing it. That's what matters to me. You know, I'm not trying to win these as much as I am trying to run them effectively. So, it is what it is. So, but yeah. So then the same weekend, Georgia had their first event of the season as well on Lake Hartwell, and I thought I had them up. I do have them up. And they had 8 boats.
They had more.
Oh, that's just all Fishing Chaos is showing tracking.
So we're trying to figure out a way to show everything on Fishing Chaos. We got to get with the guy over there, and it doesn't show teams at zeroed.
Right.
So it's, you know, that a lot of these events had more people show up, but it's just showing the people that weighed in.
Right. There should be a roster. So teams, anglers, entries, 8 teams.
Yeah, if you go to full leaderboard, it should
see full leaderboard. All right, tracking. Yeah, but it doesn't show the zeros. Okay, so yeah, so they had 7 boats weigh fish. First place in that event was Dawson Carden and Dustin Ballard. They had 12 pounds 6 ounces. And then coming up right behind them was our director, Mr. Philip Hunt, and his partner, Neil Scroggins, with 10 pounds, 14 ounces. And then following them up was David Thornton and Jeremy Jackson with 9 pounds, 3 ounces. Not bad weight. For sure. We had some weird weather. Definitely threw some stuff off. I don't know how it was down there up there on Lake Hartwell. But we had like a big warm front that came through and then kind of like a cold snap at the same time. It was kind of weird weather. But it was, I know that Sunday after was 80 degrees here. It was crazy. It was, and then that following week it was in the 20s. South Carolina Springs made you guess. That's how it be. But they had a successful event. Glad for them. Glad they were able to you know, get 8 or however many boats it was. Philip, let me know how many boats it was, since I don't understand the Fishing Chaos app that well.
I think he said oh, he didn't tell me. Yeah, it just doesn't show the people at 0, that's all.
Yeah. My boy Jay Johnson in here. What's up, man? You missed it. We've been talking about Monticello. I want to see you guys bring in like a 4-pound smallie. That would be dope. That would be pretty cool. Jay caught like a 10-pounder last year. I'm still super jealous of him for that. Very jealous. But yeah. And then, so, I mean, speaking of big fish, Louisiana Had some opportunities for some big fish down on Chicot, but it was a
Chico.
little tough. Chico,
Oh,
I'm saying it
all right.
wrong.
I
I'm
used to
sorry. I'm
say
sorry.
Peapot. All right, you got to throw that Cajun twist on.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. To the Louisiana guys, I'm not trying to offend nobody, but they had some really brutal weather come through. I know it got cold down there for Louisiana. I didn't hear what was the weight that they had or the temperature they had. Not standard ops.
I'm not sure, to be honest with you. No, it was well below freezing.
Right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all look in the pictures, they all look miserably cold. But I know he's telling us that, they had a couple teams go ahead and use that as their drop just because of the weather, and definitely understandable.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took 12:49 to win that event. Where'd my notes go? I had
37.
them.
Oh, that's not bad, Zach. Come on. 37?
37? That's not cold.
Come on now.
Zach, you're from New York. That's summer weather now.
You need to go spend more time in Alaska, okay? There's too much short stint for you.
Right. But yeah, so they had 12:49, Team Warren and Knowles, and then right behind them with 10:61 was Abel, and then Vaughn with 10:15, rounding up their third place. I'm sure that cold weather snap. I know the whole South. Oh, okay, it was raining too. That checks out.
All right. We'll let it slide.
Yeah. Cold weather and rain sucks. I won't knock that. I won't knock you there. If it's below 70 degrees and raining, that's way too cold. But that's the whole South's been so weird this year. Yeah, people flooding, people freezing, 80 degrees and then 25 the next, and it's over the whole South. But we're learning the fishing chaos thing.
Yeah.
I'm not the most tech savvy person, but I get by, and I'm struggling with it, to be honest. So we're trying to figure it out the best we can. We thought it was going to make things a little smoother, and it will once we get it ironed out. We just got to iron it out and figure it out exactly, for sure. But yeah. Oh, and maybe Jay, if you're in, maybe I need to talk to you. If you're using it pretty heavily for the kayak stuff, maybe I need to sit down with you and see if you can teach us some things or something. For sure. But that's all of our results.
Gage,
Yeah.
I actually have a buddy who designs apps for this company. He's like an applications manager. I don't know his exact title in Boston, but I've been talking to him, and we're actually working on getting something. It's going to be a little while for sure, but I'd love to have something where we have like angler profiles, shows their weights and stuff at each event, kind of pretty similar to the MLF one. We'll get something. It's going to be a little bit, but we'd want something like that for sure.
Absolutely. But yeah, I mean, that's all of our results from here, or from the AFFL, but we were gonna dive into a couple things.
Josh, don't be a baby, all right? You're gonna be okay.
Had to get all warmed up in the bed and ain't came out since. I hear you, but once you get cold in that rain and get soaked down to the bone, it's tough. I hate that.
8 boats showed up, 3 used a drop, picked up a new team. We have 3 more teams verbally committing for the next tournament. That's some good growth. Yeah, that's like double.
Absolutely.
The past, yeah, that's good.
Right.
That's
And
awesome.
I know to some people, if y'all are new and y'all aren't watching us, or y'all are new to watching us, 15 boats doesn't sound like a lot, but to us, we're happy with that. Growth is what we're looking for. It might be slow, or it might be low numbers now, but eventually, we're gonna get there. It's gonna grow quick. And I'm loving how it's growing so far, personally. But jerseys, what's up with jerseys, Nick? Because we got to get the new Pride Rods logo added. Oh, we're losing Nick again. I don't know what's happening. He might have to leave and come back again. I don't know anything about the jerseys, guys. I know he was looking into it a little bit. But now that we added Pride Rods on as a new sponsor this year, we're gonna probably have to redo the jerseys to get their logo added. There's Nick again. Do you have updates on the jerseys?
What are they looking for on the jersey?
Just a new order form to go ahead and get them for the season.
Yeah, I'll send. Do you have the forms for that?
Yeah, but we have to get the new logo added, I thought. Because we
Yeah.
don't have Pride Rods on the old one.
Yeah. Well, just send them the one they have now. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's fine. Yeah, hit up your directors. If you're a member, hit up your directors and we can send you the order form directly. I thought we were gonna have them updated. That's probably my fault. But yeah, if you have the old order forms, yep, I have them too. So just Jay, shoot me a text or something if I don't get them to you tonight, and I'll get them over to you and Ben if y'all want them. And that goes for any of my South Carolina guys or any of you guys. If y'all got my phone number, hit me up and we'll get them. But I seen a question on here I wanted to get to. Oh, Jay, yes, your membership goes across. Like, we're not by state membership. We're I think Nick's frozen up again. Yep, we lost him. We're not by state. It's an AFFL membership. Once you have a membership, you can fish any event in the AFFL. So if you guys want to fish, up on Hartwell, I know that's a little closer of a drive for you. Same with the Hartwell, Clarks Hill, maybe even Lanier might be closer than Santee for you. Jump in some of those. That no harm, no foul, and it's a double chance to qualify. We were talking about. Oh my goodness, what's happening here? Getting some bad comments. We had to delete. But yeah, so kind of lost track there after those comment situations. Are we good, Nick?
I'm going to use my laptop. The camera sucks on it, but
okay. But yeah, and that goes for anybody. If y'all want to fish any state, as long as you have a membership, you can fish any state, any event. We're not by state membership; we're by AFFL membership. And I think like the way, Philip just hit the nail on the head. Once you're in Fishing Chaos, you can just you have to get your Georgia membership or whatever, which is free. You just have to have the prerequisite by having the AFFL membership on there, which you already got. So easy money. But
yeah, I'm gonna try this again. I can't on the camera.
You good?
I'm gonna try this one. I don't know what's going on with this thing. But
I don't know I don't know what's going on. We're getting a bunch of spam comments with some nasty stuff. So if you're on the YouTube and you're watching, ignore the comments. I don't know what's happening with these people, so just ignore them. We're gonna delete them as soon as we see them.
what are we getting?
It is what it is. I'm not even gonna repeat the things they were saying. Definitely some bad spam stuff. So, cool. But anyways, that kind of aggravated me a little bit reading some of the stuff they were just putting in there. So please, if you're on the YouTube, ignore those comments. We are not affiliated with those individuals whatsoever, and they have already since been blocked and banned. So is what it is. Moving on. Cool. All right, we went over our results. I think we were going to dive into the bass results a little bit. What do you think, Nick?
What the?
Yep. Here we go. I've already banned that user twice now. I don't know what's happening. That's frustrating.
Yeah.
Yep. But anyways, cool. So moving on from that, and I'm gonna try to screen share the Bass results. I'm gonna kind of shake things up and say something that
What's going on with that, man?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening there. Try to ban it again. I'm sorry, y'all. This individual's posting some bad stuff. So it is what it is. So we're gonna go over the Bass results, Nick, if you don't mind, because I'm screen sharing. I won't be able to click it. Just watch that and keep banning him as he does it. There it is again. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, I'm watching it.
Cool. So anyway, so the whole live scope thing. Let me get rid of this banner real quick so it's not blocking the screen there. So the whole live scope thing. So Bass made a whole lot of changes this year, right? And about the live scope, reducing the screen sizes, transducers, and all that. And I don't remember the total numbers. It's like 50 inches of screen, and only one transducer, forward facing, all that. And look at our top 10 in the first event. Got my boy G-Man in there in 7th. I'm happy with that. Got G-Man, John Cox, Bill Lowen winning the event, his second blue trophy. We're going back to old school, at least in Florida.
Yeah.
In Florida, we're old school flipping, and I did not get to watch a bunch of this. I have it recorded. I've been busy and have not got to watch it, but I've got the Saturday, Sunday recorded on my TV in here. So all my free time upcoming is gonna have this replay, and just so I can watch them. I feel like just looking at this leaderboard. Patrick Walters live scopes a little bit. Corey Johnson does, but this today when I was driving about an hour and a half today, and I seen Corey Johnson flipping mats and catching them. So I mean, he's not out there scoping them. Brock Mosley's not a scoper. I don't know much about John Garrett or Shane Lehew, but Jay Securit is not a scoper. Like, you have a bunch of old school bank beaters, if you will, in the top 10, the first event, after Bass makes all of these adjustments. So it is what it is. G-Man did this stanky leg?
He did, yeah. I saw that clip. That was pretty good.
Oh, dude, I gotta see that. Good. I really hope I'm sure a lot of you guys are huge G-Man fans. I mean, a lot of us in this that's grown up watching professional bass fishing.
Even if
I don't
you're not
know.
a fisherman, like you have to be a fan of the guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's hilarious. He used to catch them back in the day. I would really like to see G-Man have a great season this year. I would really like to. I like to see him in the Angler of the Year race, and I would like to see it. And he needs to just win a damn classic so he can retire. That's all he needs. Like, just go win the classic so you can retire, G-Man. But yeah, I'm excited to watch some of it. I mean, I've watched bits and pieces, but I haven't got to really dive into what was going on down there. But if any of y'all got anything y'all seen on that y'all want to talk about, I just wanted to really talk about how we look at it. And Wes Logan, I mean, I know he scopes a little bit, but he's hardcore, young but old school fishing. Jake Whitaker, even, I mean, St. John's the last few years, he's always done good with a wacky rig, or a weightless Cinco. Seth Fighter, old school. I mean, that Lee Livesey.
Yeah, you're seeing some of those names I haven't seen in a long time.
Right. And I'm digging it. I'm digging it. I want to see some old school. I don't have anything against live scope. I want to make that very clear real quick. I'm not against live scope. I have it on my boat. I use it. But I like to watch, G-Man skip a jig 20 feet up under a dock and slackline hook set, a 3-pounder. It sounds like lightning just struck. That's what I'm about. Oh, okay. Well, dang it. I didn't get to watch
I know
that
it's
much.
still used because I saw a couple guys still using it. Well, I shouldn't say couple, more than a couple, but I think it, not having 100 screens on the front and transduces at every
Right.
angle on the boat and all that stuff. I think it does level the playing field a little more.
Right. You don't see as many guys out there just out in the middle of the St. John's River fishing
Right.
nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're up in the canals the way they've always been. They're just, doing it a little differently.
Yeah, they're going to their spots they use with like their old, like their knowledge, and then they're
right.
using the live scope to spot stuff maybe they wouldn't have seen in those same areas.
Right.
I like what they did, and I think it's I think they did a good job with putting restrictions, if you want to call it, on it.
Right. I didn't get to watch the MLF either, Shane. I'll have to go back and watch that because I record both of them. So, we'll see how it goes. But I just, it made me happy. See, I guess I'm just stoked that G-Man's in the top 10. I haven't seen that in a long time, and I was pretty happy today when I seen that. Yes, I think he was in the top 10 yesterday too. But yeah, and then I don't know where it is. I can't find it. I was looking, I seen it. I'll pull up MLF's website. There was a picture of it on one of the Santee Facebook groups or whatever, and I can't find it. But the BFL on Santee this weekend had some crazy stuff go down. Let me pull up Major League Fishing's website real quick. I thought I had it up and I don't. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not being a good podcaster tonight. BFL.
Yeah, you said stuff, man. My jaw dropped.
Yeah, I know. It was sitting there last night and I seen it come up and I was like, no, dude. No way. Where's it at? Okay, yeah, here we go. And then I should be able to do that. And then all right. So you look here. This is there was only one day. It was not a multi-day event on Santee out of John C. And you look great. How do I do it to where I show my mouse again? I think you can see it. Yeah. So you look 3503. Nice little mega sack there.
That's insane.
Right.
35 pounds with 5.
Right, but then you look and you got 31 right behind him, 27, 27, 26, 26, 25. And this 25 right here, if you notice, this is 25 pounds with 4 fish, right? And then look at this right here, up here in the big bass. I don't know Mr. Gary Pope or anything, but 1306 is just insane.
That's huge.
Humongous.
Do they have a picture of it on there?
I don't know. Maybe under his profile, they might have done it. Let me look at his profile and see if it shows it. No, they haven't uploaded it yet. There was a picture of it on, or maybe it's on here. There might be a picture. No, they haven't uploaded anything yet. There was a picture on Facebook, and while we're sitting here talking, I'll look through Facebook again and see if I can find it. But that just threw me for a loop. Here we go. Another one. They're just making new ones. But Santee Lakes page. Okay, I don't know. I don't know where that is, but yeah. I'm gonna have to. I'll look that up. But yeah, 13. When I was just sitting there last night and I was just scrolling through Facebook and seen a picture. All I seen was I just seen a picture of a guy holding up a fish. I didn't really pay attention to the picture too well, and I clicked to see the results of the tournament because I knew Lonnie was in it. I can't remember who else. I knew a handful of people fishing that derby, so I just wanted to see where everybody finished. And I look over and seen Big Bass 1306, and I thought it was a typo. It was not. It's a giant. It's a giant. It is a giant.
That's crazy, man.
I'm to Santee Cooper Lakes. Oh, it's the tournament fishing page, I think, is what he's talking about.
So is it like full blown spawn on Santee right now?
I haven't been on Santee since, I don't know. I doubt it. We don't have the weather yet.
Yeah.
It's guys out there catching the pre-spawn fish in the grass and stuff.
Yeah.
Now that the grass is so big, or grown up so much. But I mean, there's some crazy bags getting dropped. I mean, the past few weekends, it's taken over 25 pounds to win anything, I think. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing this picture anywhere. But yeah, so that kind of, oh yeah, so they're definitely not. They're probably deep fish, off grass or. I mean, there's some deep brush piles on Santee down there on the lower end of the lake.
Is there?
I mean, I guess me and you, deep to me is 15 to 20 feet on Santee, but deep to you is probably 50 or 60 feet or something crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so but yeah, I mean that kind of blew my mind having a 13-pounder on Santee. I can't even fathom holding a fish that big. I would probably have a heart attack.
I wonder what they caught it on.
I'll probably never know. I'm gonna go Popar. I'm just kidding. Not in February. No. Popar on the Mayfly hatch, February 22nd. I'm just kidding. But yeah, that's really all the end. That checks out. Yeah, it definitely could have been a lower end, down on Lake Moultrie or something off some of them deep ledges. There are some deep ledges, and big little fingers, points, and stuff coming out.
So that's the Moultrie's that's the southern lake.
Yeah, the big round one. So when we went and we met at Black's Camp right there, that's Lake Moultrie.
Yeah.
Cross. But yeah.
I was too nervous to go on that side. I don't know why. It just looked. I was looking at the the mapping on it, and it just looked. I mean, I guess everywhere on those two lakes are all trees, but that one looked real sketchy to run.
Moultrie, I really haven't. I haven't spent a lot of time on Moultrie. I've been down there a little bit and played around, but I spend most of my time on the upper lake, and I don't really know how. Yeah, Marion. Yep.
That's the one. So when everything, like all the studying I did, it seems like more tournaments were won on Marion than Moultrie.
Right. But it kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Like last year, I think a lot of the bags were coming out of Moultrie. And then I don't know what's going on this year. I haven't been too in tune with Santee that much this year so far. I've only been down there once.
Yeah.
Actually, no. I haven't even been on Santee yet this year. I've only been on Murray and Watery and Moultrie or Monticello. I haven't been on Santee at all yet that I can think of. Might be going crazy here. But yeah, this makes sense. Brush piles, locals fishing brush piles. But I've heard the brush piles are kind of dying because of the grass. But yeah. I don't know. Yeah, see, this is yes, because like the thing that scares me the most about Santee is the wind. Because you can't just run across the lake however you want to run across it. You have to stay in certain areas of the lake. And if the wind's blowing,
you're screwed.
You just gotta eat it. Man. I thought I misread that at first. I thought that was Philip Stutz. He commented on here earlier as well. I'll never forget our first AFFL on Santee. Philip was in I think his boat's 17 or 18 foot John boat, and we get out to the main lake, and Lonnie was riding with me, and we were in my boat, and we're just eating these giant rollers, and we look over, and there's Philip just going head into them, and in a tiny little Philip, it's 17 foot, 17 foot grizzly tracker. And he caught him though. I mean, he caught him. He had 16 pounds, I think, or 17 pounds, and was second or third in the derby.
I'll tell you what, man. When I see someone pull up to our tournament in a John boat, I'm like,
oh yeah,
that's who you're watching.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially on Santee, especially if you're up in the swamp, dude. The guys with the little 17 foot, 16 foot John boats or duck boats with a
18.
Oh, 18 foot.
Okay.
18
Right.
foot. Yeah. I don't think it makes much of a difference in those waves, Philip. I know it beat the crap out of you. We were actually scared for you. Because, I mean, even in my 20-foot boat, like, going across that lake was gnarly. And
I want to get back to Santee so bad. I got my teeth kicked in down there. Like, we caught a lot of fish in practice for that event, but never anything of size. And then tournament days it was shut off for us.
That was a tough tournament. I mean, you experienced the wind of Santee.
Yeah. I pulled out of that channel, and I saw the lake, and I looked at Ben, and I was like, no, we're not going out there. Yeah. We're just gonna bang a left and go fish all these trees over here, and that's
Yep. Yeah, we made it out past the island, and I had that G3 that I totaled.
Yeah.
And we made it out past that first island, and I look over at my partner, and he's just pale as a ghost, holding on with both hands, and we're just getting beat. Back's already hurting, and I just look at him, and he's like, So I
honestly probably would have ran somewhere, because like I'm comfortable driving in like rough water, but the fact that you have to stay in boat lanes there is why I was like, oh, we're not going, because
you can't adjust the boat the way you need to.
You had to go out and take a left into that boat lane, and that's the direction the wind was blowing at. And I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm in an aluminum boat. It's not happening.
Right. It yeah. Figure we start to sink. I just put my power.
You could there too.
Yeah, I mean, if there's any lake that you could do it, your boat you might create a triangle, if the nose goes under, but yeah, that place can get gnarly. That's for sure.
It just looks good, man. Like everywhere you go, I don't care where you are on the lake.
Like I think that's the worst part about it.
I know really. It is, but
it all looks perfect.
What was that boat ramp?
The whole lake.
I think that's where I met Lonnie the first time. I didn't even realize it until the AFFL kicked off. But
Spires?
I think it was Spires, yeah.
Kind of long, skinny in the back, bunch of trees back there.
Yes. Well, yeah. I mean, like the whole lake, but yeah, I just put the
that's fair.
I just put the trolling motor down and started fishing trees out there, but like that, it just looks everywhere you go. Yeah, Lonnie, Spires, yeah.
Yep, Spires, yep.
It just looks so good, man. Like everywhere you go.
That's a good area of the lake, for sure.
It looked like it.
There's a run behind all the islands, and me and Lonnie, that same tournament that we were talking about, Philip, with all the wind and stuff. Me and Lonnie were going back there to Spires to fish, and we had to cross the lake or whatever. So we get over there, and normally I would run down. I don't know the run behind the islands, so normally I would run down to the channel and then follow the channel down and then cut in and run straight back into Spires. That way I'm safe. I know a little bit of the runs back there, but I don't know all the ones behind the islands. Yeah. Some of those areas you're in 2.5 feet of water with stumps everywhere. Yeah. You better be on the right track. So, right, as long as you have a track marked. I did not have a track marked, and there's 3-foot white caps, not 3-4 foot white caps out there, and we're just getting our teeth kicked in. And Lonnie is like, I'm about to turn left at the channel at the end of the crossing channel. And Lonnie's like pointing to this boat going behind the islands. And I was like, well, I mean, it's like 4 miles down, getting beat up by the wind, or I can follow this boat and hopefully he goes back towards Spires and we can follow his track. 10 out of 10, one of the scariest moments of my life after getting beat up by the wind, and we're almost took like 4 over the bow, and then get back there and we're running. We ended up losing the dude. I have no idea where I'm running. I'm just following a blue line on my Lake Master maps.
God, yeah.
The Lord was in the boat with us. I'll just say that. We're very lucky. I brought the jack plate all the way up, trimmed her all the way up, and just said, don't let us hit nothing.
Man, yeah,
we'll not do that again. But
it's crazy out there, dude. I remember we took so I took our family, like me and Ben took our families out on the boat. We just went to check out the alligators because where our Airbnb was like on the north. I forget what creek it was in, but there's like a wildlife refuge right next to it.
Mm-hmm.
So we just went over there, power pull down, and we're just like alligator watching. And I know, Lonnie, I know you tried to help me. I'm thick-headed. I like to try and figure stuff out on my own, and I don't like to listen to doc talk in a tournament. Okay, I didn't know you.
That sucks because Lonnie was probably honestly I know Lonnie well enough. He was telling you what to do, and it was real. Like,
yeah,
it was
I
real.
guarantee it. But you know how it is, man. Like I just, I traveled, over 1,000 miles to go to this place, and that, but I appreciate it, Lonnie. I'll listen to you next time. Okay.
Right.
Oh, you meant you.
Yeah, no, Lonnie was trying to help me. Yeah, Lonnie was trying to help me. I couldn't even get across the lake though. That was my problem because Lonnie was fishing over in Waibu, Potato Creek, and Talcall, and I was fishing over there too. And I did have fish over there. I had some fish on brush piles, and I had some shallow fish going on in Potato Creek, but my boat could not get there. There was no way we were going to get over there in that old G3. I mean, we could have. We would have needed freaking spine surgery the next week to even be able to get out of the. I mean, I don't even know if we would have been able to get out of the boat. That old G3 did not handle that stuff well at all. And I know Lonnie took one over the bow that tournament at that ABA. I know he took one over, and then a good friend of mine, Bud Bowman, and I can't remember who he was fishing with. They were in like an 18-foot bass cat. They took like 7. They were going all the way up to 95. They took a bunch over the bow. That was a crazy wind day. That first day especially was nasty. But
yeah, we stayed in that. We went to that refuge. I remember we were power pulled down watching the alligators, and all of a sudden I see this nitro weaving like full throttle, weaving through trees. I'm like, dude, this guy has to know this lake like the back of his hands, or he's just psychotic. I was like, there's no way I would ever do that.
There's a little bit of both of that. Both of those, I think it takes. Even the guys that know it like the back of their hand, still, there's a little bit of craziness involved. But I mean, exactly like Zach said there, sometimes you just got to trim her up and let her eat. Those who live cautiously never live at all. It's my motto.
Bill, I did the ABA on West Point one year, and that'll be the last time I go to West Point if I have anything to do with it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I love the military ABA tournament, and it's cool to have a free week of leave. Every year so far, I've been able to get my commander to sign off on permissive TDY somehow. Praise Jesus. I don't know how it worked, but it worked every year, and so it's nice. But I don't think West Point Lake is worth it. The lodging and go catch 6 pounds of spotted bass, and
I don't know. I caught a couple 3s there and stuff, but nothing over like. I think the biggest one I had was like 3 1/4. Nothing. I don't know.
Right.
It just wasn't. I just didn't like the lake. It wasn't worth it.
I hear that.
To drive down from up here to go to West Point.
I definitely hear that.
Zach.
Yep. Oh, Shane was there. I didn't know you were there, Shane. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was brutal. Was that 22 or is that 21? I think that was 2021.
No, that was 22.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
No, because I was deployed for
Yeah,
2022.
you didn't.
22 and 22 was the West Point because I didn't go to that one.
Yeah. Santee is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
Santee.
Santee was 21,
Yeah.
and then it was West Point 22, and then we went to Hartwell 2 years in a
Hartwell.
row, and then now we're on West Point again.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the stories I heard was enough for me to not want to go to West Point this year.
Dude, on West Point, I was fishing this like point coming out in this channel.
Mm-hmm.
There was like an island tip, and then there was like a marker probably 50 yards off the tip, and I was fishing that, and some guy came through full speed, cutting in between me, which I was like right at the marker, and the island, and smoked his boat on the rock flat that I was fishing.
Ooh.
Like, oh yeah, I stopped fishing and I went over there, even though I was kind of upset that he cut me off like that. But when I saw it actually hit the island,
like he might be injured.
Yeah. I went over there and I was like, "You okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm good." He's like, "We ruined the lower unit, dude." The rock, there's like a chunk of the prop just sitting on the flat and stuff. I was like, "Good Lord, man."
Get your map chips, folks. Get your map chips. Read your maps. There's a reason they're there. Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I heard there is some danger to that lake too, though. Like some of the areas of it are kind of sketchy.
There's a lot of debris, and so I don't know if it was just the time of year, but there was like a lot of logs, and it was just a dirty lake too. Like the trash and stuff was every bank that you look at, and like, well, not every bank, but a lot of these coves had like piles of trash. Boats. I saw like full boats just tucked way into these. I don't know. It was
crazy.
I wasn't a big fan.
Right. I hear you. Well, I mean, I hate to end the conversation on a crappy lake, but we're hitting that hour mark here. You got anything else you want to dive into?
If they do it on a better lake, we should get a bunch of our guys, all of us get together and go down there and show up. That'd be a fun time.
Absolutely. Everybody rocking AFFL jerseys, show up, show out, and build a brotherhood ready to go straight to the source. I mean, that's where it started.
Yeah.
That's where this all started. Was at the military ABA. And you and Ben and your Ranger and man marking the old G3. Kind of crazy how things happen just over a quick thing. But yeah, let's real quick. Philip has the right idea, but he spelled it wrong. Sorry to call you out there, Philip. Make sure you put it just like I've got it right there. If y'all want a chance to win some barbecue sauce, absolutely delicious barbecue sauce. I don't always pull it out, but I'll pull it out. This stuff right here, the Hank Parker Signature Series Southern Fusion, the gold barbecue sauce. So delicious.
Yeah.
So delicious. Even if you don't like mustard-based barbecue sauce, that stuff hits different. And that's Jamie Murphy's special blend that he made, and it is so worth it. So if you have not, make sure you like, share, and comment hashtag #TheSitRep, just like I've got it right there. And for our Facebook viewers, if you're not already, go over to our YouTube, please, just Armed Forces Fishing, and give us a follow over there. Or subscribe, subscribe. Help us grow the YouTube. We're trying to get it a little bigger than it is. And it's been working. So thank you to all the ones that have subscribed already. But yeah, so make sure y'all get that in there real quick, and I will do the thing. I've got to get it going. Let's see here. I don't know why it's not collecting them. It should. Retrofit.
Yeah, Chris, I don't know if you were in here earlier. We're playing catch up right now. We'll get it out to you.
Yeah, all y'all go back in. Even if you did it earlier, I think I messed up and accidentally closed it, so it is not showing all the entries. So go ahead and drop in hashtag #TheSitRep right now. Chris needs barbecue. I don't have his address, Nick. Let me write that down. send me his address because that's
Yep.
all I'm missing on that one. I'm tracking. I need to get it to him. Nick, Lonnie, don't disrespect Nick like that. He had an amazing beard. That wasn't just a mustache.
I had to go baby face. All right. I get carded now when I buy stuff. Makes me feel good.
I liked the beard. I really did. I like Nick rocking the beard, but I definitely understand.
I did too. I don't know.
The itchiness. That's what gets me, just the itchiness.
Extra maintenance,
Right.
Yeah.
Jeff, make sure you repost it without the space. No spaces, folks. No spaces. Yeah, look, just like Mike Sheehan right here with the hashtag the SITREP. Mike, you're usually vocal in here. I ain't seen you in here a lot.
He's sick.
He's sick?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Unless he's feeling better. I just talked to him a day or two ago, and he's down and out.
Dag on. All right, well, I hope you get feeling better, Mike. Let's see here. We got 10 entries so far. It's counting, and I am sorry that you guys have to redo it. I don't know what happened. I had it going, and I guess I lost it. Usually it kind of goes back and redoes it, but heck yeah, I have not been to the restaurant yet. I really want to go to the restaurant. I want some of that barbecue, man. He I don't know what it is. Jamie does it right.
Yeah.
It's good. It is good. But all right, well, I don't see anybody else dropping in there. We do have 16 viewers, so make sure y'all hurry up and get it in there real quick. We're gonna go ahead and I gotta switch it all over. I think I've got it on the right screen now. And we have 11 on here right now. Go ahead and do our drawing and see who we're gonna get.
Man,
Melissa Hunt. You just said you already got barbecue sauce. Well, I guess y'all will get a t-shirt and I'll still send you some barbecue sauce. But there we go. So we'll write that down and close that out well, this will be our last episode of the month. But yeah, so thank you guys all for playing. Thank you guys all for watching and staying tuned. It's been fun just catching up. I know we haven't we've been kind of back and forth. So thank you guys for all the ones that have came back, even though, we've been away for a couple weeks. I know we've had some craziness going on and both of our lives, and not to mention the, just weather and Super Bowl and all that. It's just a crazy time of the year. We'll be diving in deep and trying to stay up as weekly as much as we can. But bear with us. We are both working full time and have families and everything else going on, and it's craziness sometimes, to say the least. Life stays crazy. But for all of y'all that are not staying for the weekly devotional, we'll see y'all next week. Hopefully, I think we're trying to get. Are you still trying to get Ben on for ice fishing?
I've got a couple things in the works. One of the guys that's coming on in the near future, his name's Danny Hartzell, and he's if you look at his Facebook page, the Electronic Fisherman, he's coming on to talk all Humminbird. He actually just got those new units that Humminbird put out. He wants us to give him a little time so he can get on the water with him a bunch and go over all the ins and outs and answer any questions. So that might not be next week, but he's coming on in the near future. So we have a bunch of, I have a few different people that we're going to get on and do some change of pace stuff. So
absolutely. Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm excited. I know we got a lot of stuff planned, and this year is so far going pretty good for everybody. And I think 2025 is a good year for the AFFL. I'm excited, and the podcast. I think we'll see it grow for sure. I mean, even though we've been inconsistent, we're still getting consistent viewers and everything else, and I'm thankful for all of you guys. So yeah, that's all we got. If you're not going to stay around for the devotional that we do every week, we'll see y'all next week. And thanks for watching. And now we're going to dive into the weekly devotional. We've had a pretty good trend, I think, on our devotionals, and a lot of it has been about hardship. And I know that seems kind of I don't know, like I don't want it to seem like we're only focused on hardship all the time, and that's kind of how this one can be taken, but I don't want it to be taken necessarily only on hardships, but just anything that comes your ways, right?
Coming adversity.
Yeah, it coming across adversity, right? We all do it. Every day we all have adversity come across in our life some way. And this isn't just for military and first responders. I mean, that's obviously our target audience, but everybody experiences adversity in some form or fashion, whether it's family troubles, financials, works, relationship issues. There's adversity everywhere you look in life. And I look at it, fishing a tournament, right? Yeah, like goodness, Bo, that tournament me and Bobby fished the 8th, February 8th. We get up to our first spot. I had a group of fish stacked off right off a bridge off some riprap. And I bomb an Alabama rig out there, third cast, lose a $20 Alabama rig. Then Bobby smokes his crankbait up against the bridge, and we're just both like, off the rip, we're starting off bad. And then we end up going through the bridge. We don't catch a fish there, go through the back, and end up start catching them, and then things leveled out. But off the rip, that adversity hits, and we're getting frustrated and angry and losing trust in each other as partners, and it is what it is. But if you haven't been in, 2 Corinthians chapter 12, and these specific verses 7 through 10, these have gotten me through a lot of really hard times in my life. And especially as of recent with some, heavy stuff over the last, 6 months, really. There's a lot of powerfulness to these, and I'm going to kind of dive into it, but I'm going to read it first. So if you start in 7, so to keep me from becoming proud, I was given a thorn in my flesh, a messenger from Satan to torment me and keep me from becoming proud. 3 times I begged the Lord to take it away, and each time he said, my grace is all you need. My power works best in weakness, so now I'm glad to boast about my weakness, so that the power of Christ can work through me. That's why I take pleasure in my weakness and in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. For when I am weak, then I am strong. And what I capitalize on there a lot is like, how many times do we have something come against us, that adversity, right? Nobody wants to start their tournament day off with losing a $20 Alabama rig, right? But for some reason, I did. You know what I mean? Would I have thrown it differently? Instead of picking up a crankbait, right, that I caught our first 2 fish on, would I have been trying to sit there and bomb that Alabama rig the whole time? You know what I mean? And I think Bobby ended up cutting that crankbait that he beat off the bank or hit the bridge. I don't know if he hit a rock or a bridge, but he cut that one off and ended up putting on a different crankbait. Would he have caught the fish that he caught? It's like 7:35. We had 3 fish in the box ready to go. Would we have had those fish if we wouldn't have had that adversity come up? Right? It's kind of how I look at it. It's like 3 different times I begged the Lord to take it away. How many times have we asked the Lord to take that adversity out of our life away? But in reality, that's our workout to get to the next step, to get to whatever. And me and you were sitting there talking about it, Nick, beforehand. It's like, if you want to relate it to military terms, it's basic training or boot camp or whatever you call it. The Marine Corps call it recruit training, whatever you call it, depending on which branch you're in, or if you're a law enforcement officer, they go through a boot camp. Most states, I believe, at least I know in Kentucky they do. They go through a boot camp kind of similar to the Army or Marine Corps or anybody else. What is boot camp designed to do? Break you down and make you feel a part of a team and build you up the way the military needs you to operate. What do you think God's doing to you with adversity, or allowing to be done to you with adversity? letting you be beat to a certain point. That sounds bad, but letting things come against you that are growing you and building your character in a certain way to get you to a certain point. It's just like working out. When you lift weights, you rip the fibers in your muscles, and then it grows back stronger, and you have bigger, stronger muscles. It's the same thing. And that's what it's saying. Like that's why I take pleasure in my weakness and in the insults, hardships, persecutions, and troubles that I suffer for Christ. And the reason I think of that stands out so strong to me is I suffer for Christ, because think about all of the suffering he did for us. The only perfect man to ever walk this earth. And he was beat to a point, whipped, stoned, crown of thorns, carried his cross, flesh hanging off his back. And I actually seen something that was showing the way they nailed him to the cross. It wasn't just in his hands and in his feet. It was done in a very specific way to make it as painful as possible for him, to where he would have to, relax this work, like stretching his legs to relax his hands and vice versa, and for hours. All the suffering the only perfect man in this world did for us, the little bit that we go through in reality compared to what he did, I'm willing to take that all day on the chin. And I'm willing to deal with divorce and, the crazy stuff that I'm having to deal with and that you've had to deal with, Nick, and the, PTSD that some of us suffer from, or whatever the case is. A little bit of that we think is so hard, but if you look at what he suffered for you, see what I'm saying?
And at the end of that too,
the next sentence.
Blows my mind out of all of that. It's like the most powerful thing. He said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do."
Right.
As he hanging on the cross to the people that crucified him.
Exactly.
Like that's powerful.
Right. Exactly. And that's how we should be with everything, right? Like, people don't know what they're doing to you, and it sucks. Like, it seems, as much as you want to, be mad at somebody, and I mean, we all do. We're all humans. We're all going to do it. Like, I get mad all the time. It's part of life. But that's realistically how it is, especially people that aren't, walking with the Holy Spirit every day. You notice things that people do, and they have no idea what they're doing. You know what I mean? They might not, at least. But the very last sentence of this is what always gets me. For when I am weak, then I am strong. Something I would challenge every single one of you right now to do. And maybe not right now, tonight, tomorrow, next week, whenever. Think about that for 1 second. For when I am weak, then I am strong. And think about some sort of adversity in your life that in the time you felt crippled by. Right? And then look for what came positive out of it. How much stronger you were in some sort of way because of the weakness you endured. Because of the suffering you endured. What positive came of that? Right? Think about it. I can tell you I haven't really, talked about it on here at all, and I'm not going to sit there and throw out all the finite details, but going through a very not so fun divorce process. At the beginning was one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. But it brought me closer to this every single day. And this is the only reason I made it out of that the way I have, and been able to stay positive and been able to move forward and do the things that I've done since, is because of this book and because of my relationship with Jesus. But in that suffering, instead of turning to all the things of the world, I turned to this as much as I could every day. And I was not perfect. I'm not sitting here saying I'm perfect and that you should be like me or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is I can look back right now and look at the worst point I was ever in my life and see how at that worst point, how much stronger I am in my faith, how much stronger my relationship with Jesus is, how much more I know biblically, right? How much better I am at studying the Bible because of this specific instance in my life. And there's other instances that have brought me closer in faith as well. But this is just recent and in my brain, right? And exactly, Shane. Every experience brings some sort of strength. Every time you lift weights, you gain strength. Every time you run, you get faster. Your lungs take on more capacity as you do more cardio, right? Every time you hold your breath and do breath training to take deep if you're into swimming, I used to be into swimming when I was a kid. And every time you hold your breath longer and longer and longer to get more capacity in your lungs to where you can dive deeper and hold your breath underwater longer, right? Every experience has some sort of positive. Every negative action has a positive reaction. You just have to find it and look for it. And instead of throwing a pity party for yourself in the moment, which is easy to do, I've done it. I'm not casting shade or throwing judgment. I've thrown myself plenty of pity parties. If you look for the positive in the moment and look for, hey, I'm taking pleasure in my weakness right now because I know whatever it is, I might not see it right now, but I'm looking for the strength that's going to bring me through this. I mean, he's with you every single day. He's with you every moment. Just look for him. That's all you got to do. Talk to him and look for him. And sometimes it might not feel like you're hearing from him. He'll show you something. I can tell you in recent times, in the last month or so, there's a period where I was feeling like I wasn't hearing from him. And even though I'm praying every single day as much as I can, all day, every day, reading as much as I can, trying to keep distance not existent, right? Trying to stay as close as I can. It's hard, sometimes, work, life, fishing, everything, you add it all together. Things get in the way and busyness gets you, but that's the enemy trying to, put things in your life to block you. But with all that, as long as you're focusing on him as much as you can, he's walking with you and he'll bring you through whatever it is. Just keep your eyes open for the strength that's going to come from it. Cool. What you got, Nick? Anything to add to that? Huh?
No, I'm not following up with that. I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
So am I, brother. We're all learning every day. I don't know every word to this. I don't know everything I'm doing right is right or wrong or what. I just pray about it. That's all you can do. Pray about it and meditate on it and think about it and listen and look. That's it. But all right, y'all. We are running really long, and I'm going to jump off the soapbox. I hope you all have a blessed week. Thank you all for staying.
I do have some.
Okay.
While we still have some people in here, Dave Hicks is going through some stuff right now again with his uncle. There's on hospice right now. He's staying with Dave. Dave's taking care of him until the end of life here. So if we could just keep him in your thoughts and prayers. He's had a rough year. So just keep him in your thoughts. That's all.
Absolutely. Dave, I don't know if you're still in here. I seen you in here earlier. He dropped a comment earlier. Dave, I don't know, but if you're in here or not, but we love you, man. We're always here for you if you want to talk. You're a great dude, man. I hate what you're going through, but if you're watching and listening, look for the strength in it. It's somewhere. You might not see it right now, but you will. You will. For the rest of y'all, have a great week. Have a blessed week. Be safe. and lean on each other if you need it. Don't be afraid to call your friend, call your buddy, talk to them, ask them how they're doing, and keep in mind the ones that sometimes might seem like everything's squared away might not be the most squared away. Don't be afraid to ask the right questions. Checking. Cool. You got anything, Nick?
Good.
Cool. Well, y'all have a great week, and remember, it's not just a tournament, it's a brotherhood. See y'all.